All right. So we'll go ahead and just get started on the chapter strategy. As I mentioned, this is going to be a blueprint and a framework for you to work from. I'm visualizing this as a 2-year strategy, and with that, comes kind of it puts the responsibility on you to kind of think of a 2-year plan and think of a 2-year strategy for your chapter as well. I always like to set a goal just so that we have a target, and it's a very kind of a broad goal, just basically to provide you with a strategy for chapter operations. It's going to encompass kind of the 4 pillars of each chapter, which is communications, both internal and external. So within, the organization and to the membership outside of the leadership team. Membership growth and development, that includes, making sure that our current membership database and membership engagement, it continues and is active and is correct. And then, of course, expanding and growing our membership within the San Diego area or within your city. Events and professional networking, as the 3 of you have been part of the team for quite some time, that sort of the framework and the main driver for why we created Millennials in Travel was to provide this professional networking events and provide this platform for those opportunities. Now, of course, with the pandemic, we haven't been able to do those in person, but we see those starting to return in the second half of this year. So big focus, of course, on events and professional networking. And then, of course, just overall industry engagement and how you can kind of get Millennials in Travel more involved, more engaged with the San Diego professionals. Just a reminder, and actually this is actually outdated now, as I just mentioned, we've just added a number of new national manager positions. So I'll show you where you can find the new org chart on our newly launched leadership landing page on our website. But just a reminder of who your team includes and of course, I'm always here to kind of be your liaison. In case you hadn't heard, if I didn't share the news, our National Manager of Operations, Carolyn Gorski, has unfortunately had to step down. So we're going to be looking to fill that role. But in the meantime, you have me here. But I also want you to always be aware, that you can contact any national manager, any director to help with anything. So you don't need to come to me when it's social media or FAM related. You can go directly to our national managers. And I'm going to show you how you can quickly and easily find who they are and their contact information on our leadership landing page. I'll show you that in just a moment. So for the framework of how we run, we obviously have these 4 positions, right? Officer, development, events, communications, and membership. But I want you to transition, and instead of thinking of those as just positions, we're going to think of those as kind of the 4 subsects within the organization. And everybody is going to be involved in events in some level. Everyone's going to be involved in membership in some level. The officers that are in those roles are kind of the project managers, and they're overseeing that. But it's important that we always keep in mind that, any successful chapter is going to have everybody contributing to all 4 of those kind of areas of the organization. So as I go through each one, you'll see that I've kind of broken it down to okay, these are some specific tasks that officer can do and that can manage, but everybody's going to be involved in membership. Everybody's going to be involved in events. And that's how, of course, we make sure that we have a successful chapter. Just some reminders here. And I think, again, the main one is, the key to success is to kind of use these tasks and benchmark goals, again, as a blueprint and as a framework for you to work from. But you're going to make it your own. The chapter is yours. We want you to feel like you have, management and leadership and creative freedom to do what works best for San Diego. So long as you're keeping our branding and our mission in mind, the success of the chapter is totally up to you. We obviously want this to be an opportunity for you to be a leader in the industry and to, engage with other people in your region. So talking about development first, let me just move this, there we go. So one of the things that I think might help us is to start to develop an annual strategy and, submit that sort of on an annual basis. And it doesn't have to be something huge, something comprehensive. I'll come up with a template for it. It's pretty brief, but it would be something like, here are our ideas for events. These are the timeframes that we're thinking, really just like a bullet point kind of skeleton list of what we have in mind for the chapter for the year. And I think if we can kind of get that wrapped up by Q4 of the previous year, that gives us, that puts us ahead of things. One of the things that Amy, you definitely know this. Jessica and Janelle, you probably do as well. Priscilla hasn't realized this yet, but Millennials in Travel has been around, since 2013. And for the longest time, we've always just been reactive, right? We're always just trying to keep up oh, crap, we haven't had an event in a while. Let's have an event. We're always because we're busy and we've got busy jobs and busy careers and busy personal lives and all these things and traveling and whatnot. But where we're at now, I think with the pandemic, what that has given us on a national level is time to kind of take a step back, put in some infrastructure, some checks and balances, create a stronger team to support the whole organization. And it's giving us a time to start thinking more proactively, right? And to kind of get ahead of things. And so that's why having this strategy prior, to the year prior will really help us. At this point, we're in June of 2021. So for this 2-year strategy, I'm thinking, the rest of this year and then all of next year. And so by, October, November, hopefully we have a kind of a plan worked out for 2022. We'll be here before we know it. And then the rest of this year, we'll talk about kind of what we can accomplish in the rest of 2021. Some things that are ongoing, of course, implementing that strategy and managing any of the goals in the chapter. Of course, these are on the Officer of Development to kind of just make sure that the sort of as the head chef, while the other officers are your sous chefs, and everyone's equally important to like making the kitchen run, right? But you're kind of the one with the name on the door and making sure that everything goes out perfectly. So kind of just overseeing all of the tasks and the strategy and making sure it happens and filling in when needed. And then monitoring the chapter email inbox. Like I put this under development, but it can really fall under as you all see fit, who you think, would be the best person to definitely be tasked with making sure that happens on a consistent basis. I'm going to create a couple templates to share with all of the chapter officers because we foresee an increase in inquiries coming in. I'm getting anywhere from 5 to 10 emails a week saying, I want to get involved in millennials and travel. Can you send me more information? And you times that by 4 chapters, 5 chapters, 6 chapters, 7. It's a lot to juggle. So we want each chapter to start kind of taking ownership of that. If the person is from that region. So that's something to keep in mind. It's just, you guys have already been doing this, monitoring that email inbox, but we just want to make sure that consistently happens and that you're kind of doing some outreach and emailing from that inbox to potential new members. And then obviously participating in our chapter meetings. That's the one that happens later today on the second Monday of every month. And then of course having your own meetings. And those are of course up to you as you see fit and as you deem necessary. But some of the other chapters are doing those on a monthly basis. So I know you guys are on top of that. Any questions about development? No, pretty straightforward, right? All right. Like I said, nothing groundbreaking here, just kind of a framework for us. Communications. So this is someone actually on the LA team, our newest member, John Beeler, pointed out, he goes, it's not just communications, but it's also content distribution. And I think that he put that perfectly because what we really need, our communications team is very busy. Everything that we do involves our communications team. And I want our officers of communications and our chapter leaders as a whole to be more engaged in that and to be more involved, because the hope is, of course, that our social media, our blog, anything that we're putting out there doesn't just reflect the opinions or the thoughts from the national team. We obviously want it to reflect each of our chapters as well. So a lot of these things are tied to that, to kind of getting you to help us with content, getting you to help us distribute that content and broaden our reach. So first thing on here is PR contacts. So right now we're in the process. We've actually, I think just today, one of our press releases was picked up by Travel Age West, a way for us to generate more membership, a way for us to obviously get the word out about millennials and travel is going to be through the press. So I really am looking to the officers of communications to help me, to help Caitlin actually with expanding our press contacts. So if you have anyone on your contact list that's, press, PR, please let us know. We want to make sure that we're, continually updating that database. The next one will be sort of a regular task that we hope that each of the chapters will get involved with social media takeover. This could be, so Janelle's done this before when she was on our FAM. Basically, it's just taking over our Instagram and doing a few posts. One idea that Jessica from the Los Angeles team had was doing the social media takeover when she attends one of the Prost lunches. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like, it doesn't have to be you. It can be somebody in San Diego. So that's the first thing to keep in mind. Remember that you're just 4 people, but you have an entire network at your fingertips and I'm going to get you the latest database this week as well. You have an entire network at your fingertips of people that can get involved. So it's not just an opportunity for you to do something, but for you to engage with the people in San Diego. Get them to do it. You find out that, you know, somebody's going to go on a fam trip. It might not be a millennials fam. That's okay. We just want to get more people out there, more people on our social media out there doing things that we are doing, right? So if somebody's going to do a philanthropic day and they're going to go and volunteer somewhere, say, hey, do you want to share that with the Millennials in Travel Network? If Janelle's going on a fam trip, Amy's going on a fam trip, Jessica's going to, you know, a networking event, anything like that. So just keep that in mind. We're hoping that we can do one per month per chapter. So that'll give us about one per week at the moment. Again, it's super easy. I like to joke, I am the grandma millennial, but if I can do it, anyone can do it. Instagram stories are actually kind of fun. So and we're looking for just, you know, 4 or 5 posts in a day. And then same thing, contribute blog post content. Again, I'm not expecting our Officer of Communications to be a blogger. I'm not expecting the 3 of you to be bloggers. We're just, again, looking for more content that is from other resources. So if you know anyone in San Diego that's already blogging, say, hey, would you like to, you know, feature one of your blogs on the Millennials in Travel website as a guest blogger? And so we're asking each chapter if they can help us with contributing 1 blog post per month. And then, of course, managing and sending out the event invitations. This would be in partnership, you know, Officer of Communications and Officer of Events work together. Right now, again, we've got the templates done. It's pretty straightforward. We're still utilizing Eventbrite as the platform to manage the event, and then MailChimp as the invitation interface, basically. But they're done. You just have to go in and update the info. Soon we'll be switching over to Zoho templates. Zoho's our new CRM. And so that will eliminate the need for MailChimp. But right now the templates are done, and it's just a matter of, once you start having events again, going in, updating it. The database, it syncs automatically, so you don't have to worry about uploading the emails or anything like that. It's pretty straightforward. And we have actually step-by-step instructions and a recorded video tutorial on how to do that. Provide newsletter content as it pertains to your city. So again, helping us with some of the content distribution. Hopefully you're all receiving our newsletter. You should be. Hopefully you're getting those. It's going out on a monthly basis now, with Caitlin and the communications team putting those together. It always goes out the 3rd week of the month. So we ask for any content to be provided by about the 15th so that we can include that. That could be events that are happening in your city that are relevant to the organization. It could be news. It could be something that you found, a podcast, a book you're reading, something that's going to add, you know, value from a professional standpoint. Let us know. We really, again, want our communications to reflect the voice of the entire chapter, and that includes, the entire organization, including all chapters. And then last but not least, and I put this little disclaimer here, by no means do we want to infringe on your personal social media accounts, but if you are willing to, you know, help us increase our engagement on social media, invite your industry friends and followers to be part of the MIT Facebook page, and then qualified friends to be part of the private group page, right? So anyone that's actually a millennial to be part of the private group, but anyone in the industry, and I've invited a number of people that are definitely not millennials to follow our Facebook and Instagram pages. And you know, there's still some relevant content on there that they appreciate. And we've got some supporters out there that are, you know, maybe from a different generation, but are millennial minded or big millennial supporters. And so they follow those pages. And then of course, anyone that is a millennial that's in travel or looking for a job in travel can be part of the Facebook group. So if you don't mind, just continue, you know, to invite people. Sometimes I just will lay in bed at night and go through and say, who haven't I invited yet? And just sit there and do it for a few minutes. But again, that's strictly optional. And then of course, sharing our posts, again, not wanting to infringe on your own personal branding or your social media pages, but the more we can, you know, cast a wider net, the more people will reach, and the greater and stronger the organization will become. Any questions on communications? Hopefully it's pretty straightforward. Again, it's a lot of stuff we're already doing, a couple small asks. All right, so next up is events. So main thing here, of course, you know, we've always had those in-person professional networking events. Everyone was doing such a great job with those prior to the pandemic hitting. So we want to, of course, get back to those. I don't know how you guys are feeling in San Diego specifically about a timeline. I know that the Los Angeles team is likely going to have their first event on July 28th, which is very exciting. Even more exciting is that it's going to take place at Shutters, which is where we had our inaugural first launch event back in 2013. So it's going to tell a great story. We want to get that out in the press, like as millennials as travel starts to rebound and return. We're having our relaunch event with our flagship chapter at the same place where it all started. So that should be a good story for us. I'm hopeful that we don't want to bite off more than we can chew. I'm not asking you guys to do, a monthly event by any means. I'm targeting one per quarter, so one every few months, so 4 per year of networking events. Once we get back to kind of that traditional model, I know right now we can't go to our hotel friends and say, hi, will you host me and 50 other professionals at no cost. Everybody's hurting a little bit. Everybody's still struggling. So the key here is going to be thinking outside the box, thinking creatively. Some of the other chapters are thinking of ideas where, they're going to approach a hotel and say, could you give us the space, the venue, and honor your happy hour pricing for our event? Personally, I think people, I know we're all struggling financially with business being down, but I think, the opportunity to get together and, get happy hour pricing, I would show up for that opportunity to network. So, your city better than I do and the members and the people there. So, I leave that up to you, but let's think creatively. In the past, we always asked for those kind of fully hosted events. We don't want to ask our partners for that quite yet, but think creatively. You have, the opportunity there. Any ideas are good ideas at this moment. The event that LA is having on July 28th is actually going to be yoga, followed by basically happy hour pricing at Shutters for drinks. And then I think the hotel's going to provide like 1 or 2 hors d'oeuvre platters or something. So just something important to keep in mind there. And like I said, 4 per year, so about 1 per quarter is the target. And so for the rest of 2021, maybe 1 event, if we can pull it off, if you feel that you're ready, if you feel that your city's ready. And, we can implement safety protocols, whatever is needed, specifically for that area. You just have to let us know what those are. And I'll show you in just a moment. We actually have a form now that you can fill out for events, which will make it really easy. The other thing I'd love for us to see, obviously, is a continuation of virtual events. I know that everybody's zoomed out and participation, has waned on those, which is fine. But I think on some level, virtual events will be good to keep around on a scaled back level, because it does bring everyone together. So it helps to create sort of this national sense of community for us. So we're asking each chapter to think about and hopefully host 1 virtual event per year with the focus on professional development. So not hotel selling, right? So think about some of the events that we've done in the past, like the speakers of the founders of the Tin Lounge podcast, or when travel staff talked about how to brush up on your resume right now and be prepared to re-enter the travel industry workforce. Anything that's going to be professionally development focused that would apply to anyone in the industry, regardless of sector, regardless if they're employed or not, if they're hotel, tourism board, marketing, whatever it is. So that's the idea there for the virtual events, and we'll get those, scheduled for next year. I think we're okay for right now. We don't need any more virtual events at the moment, but certainly for next year, hopefully 1 per year for each chapter. And then social events. Hello, we want to have some fun. So think about something fun you guys can do in the summer or even the holiday. I'm suggesting 1 per year. You can do more than that if you want. Whether that's, a baseball game in the summer, a holiday party in December, whatever you decide suits you and your chapter, suggesting 1. And it can be in combination, with the philanthropic event. So there's a lot of things you can do here. And on that note, a philanthropic event. I know that we all do, different charity work and giving back and things that, we do in our communities, but I want to make that part of Millennials in Travel. It's something that I think we all do on our own. We all have that desire to do good and to give back, right? We're citizens of the world. We want to help. So I would just love to see each chapter make that part of their official event plan, so that you're getting together and, doing a beach cleanup one day and then go have mimosas after if you want. I don't care. That's a fun way to get together. But let's do something good as a community, and let's keep our eye, focused on giving back. So that's it for events. Before I go into membership, though, I'm going to show you a couple quick things here. So I've created this timeline, hopefully help you with events. I know it's always like, what needs to be done? What comes first, the chicken, the egg? Like, what's a timeline for planning? And so this is sort of just one page, quick bullet point. There's obviously going to be a few little things that need to be added here and there, depending on the event. But this is a quick event timeline. I'm going to provide you with this PowerPoint after the meeting, so you'll have it and you can refer to it anytime. But this is basically just a timeline. Again, trying to be a little bit more proactive and plan ahead. I'm saying, let's get the ball rolling and planning these events, at least 3 months prior. And that's where that, annual plan will really come in handy with that annual chapter strategy plan. I won't go through each of these. Like I said, I'm going to provide this to you so you'll have it. But another exciting thing is that we have a new event plan submission form. This is the content that will be on the form. And let me see if I can show you where to find that right now. Where is my website? Hold on. Where is it? Okay. So if I go here, do you see the Millennials in Travel homepage? Yeah, okay. First of all, please do check the website regularly because it is updated like on a weekly basis with tons of helpful information. For example, if you know anyone looking for a job right now, we've got so many available. These are all available positions. Great content on here. But the main thing I wanted to show you today is our new leadership landing page, which you find down here at the bottom. If you click on MIT leadership page, it's going to open a new window. It didn't do it this time because I'm already logged in, but it's going to give you a login. The password is leadership21. And once you're logged in, you will be able to access everything you need. So you'll remember in the past we had Dropbox and then we converted to Google Drive. You don't need to do that anymore. You just go to the website, log into the leadership landing page, and everything is right here for you. Chapter documents, we've got everything from role descriptions, sponsorship hosting. So if a supplier does want to do something in partnership with us, you can click this and it's going to take you to the document that you can then download and provide it. So everything is here. This is going to be the event submission form. It says TC because it's not done yet. To be, I don't know what that means, to be done. To come. I think that's what Josh's lingo is. So this is, once this is ready, you'll click this and it's going to open basically a blank form. And that blank form is going to have all this information that I just showed you. So everything here. So no longer do you have to go, send emails back and forth, tell me what you're doing. You just have to get all the information compiled, basically everything you see here, and then submit it on a form. Once you hit submit, it comes to me, I approve it. Once it's approved, it goes to the communications team. Hopefully pretty soon we'll have a national manager of events. So anybody that needs to be informed will be informed. That means it'll get put on the website, it'll get added to the social media calendar, it'll get added to the newsletter calendar, everything will be done. So trying to just streamline things for you guys. Hopefully that'll make it much more simple. So like I said, I'll provide you this PowerPoint. That form should be ready soon. I thought Josh was gonna have it done already. He just messaged me, maybe that's what it's about, but it should be done this week. So you can soon use that for any event submissions. And then we'll also basically have provided the same timeline and process for virtual events. And there'll be an event plan submission form for virtual events as well. It might be one form and then you check if it's a virtual event, an in-person event, a philanthropic event, or a social event. And then the fields will change based on which event it is. But you'll get the idea. But the exciting thing is there will be a form, an online form. You'll hit submit and then it's done. Hopefully that cuts down on emails. I'm very excited about the form. All right. And then last but not least, membership engagement. This is actually kind of the longest list of tasks here. I know that we currently don't have an officer of membership. No stress, no worries. We'll work on all this together until we find someone to fill that role. Ideally, we would like to grow the database in each of our cities where we have chapters by 20% each year. Not huge and not, set in stone. It's just a goal. It's a carrot to chase. It's a goal to go after. Everyone can, of course, support that initiative and help by making sure that anyone that that's a millennial in the travel industry is part of our database. And then with that, of course, helping us to audit, review, and update the membership database each year. That's what each of the chapters are working on right now. I've just provided them with the database, and I'll do the same with you. I'll have Kate send that over this week so you can go through and kind of just, organically one by one, look through. You can divide it up among the three of you and until we fill this role and just kind of help us to make sure it's updated. And then some other just membership engagement activities is selecting, an ongoing philanthropic activity, promoting that to your membership. Some ideas in the past, the Los Angeles chapter actually once did, they discovered there was a organization in LA that was accepting and wanted to accept amenity kits. So we basically collected unused hotel toiletries. I know we all have plenty of those. I have drawers of them. And they just, people would bring them to the events. And then towards the end of the year, the team got together with some other members in the organization and basically just, created amenity kits, toiletry bags to donate to this charitable organization. So something like that, something, again, an underlining do good opportunity for us. A way to engage with members, a way to do something good to give back to the community, something that can just be small and ongoing. Facilitate communication with members, of course, regarding our membership benefits, FAMs, and national updates. Promoting any localized opportunities to chapters. So you can, again, provide all of this information to us that we can make sure is in the newsletter. You can send, emails using the San Diego, the SAN at Millennials in Travel email inbox to send communications. However you'd like to kind of stay engaged, as long as it's, done on a consistent basis of just things that are going on in your area that will benefit the membership. Obviously, being the face of with the local chapter members and non-members, focusing on membership recruitment and encouraging engagement. I'll talk about membership in just a moment. And then, of course, promoting membership via social media and to your industry contacts. Once again, not infringing on your personal social media or your branding, but of course, that's a great way to cast a net and to reach people. And then watching out for any milestones and achievements. For our friends that have, made the Travel and Leisure Advisory Board or Condé Nast, list of advisors, or, anyone that's been recognized by ASTA, whatever it may be. We want to make sure that we celebrate any of those achievements. And we need your help to know that. We can't know everything that's going on all the time. So anything you hear, any news you have, even anything that, you need us for. I got an email this past week from a member of the New York team that said, I'm helping support this travel startup and they need a speaker. That's what we're here for. And we want to see more engagement in that regard through the social media channels or just even directly, by email to us. So that's something to keep in mind for membership. Last thing I will touch on and then open it up for questions is our membership model. So you'll remember in the past, we'll say prior to February 2020, prior to everything changing forever, our membership model was you paid $40 a year for membership and it was prorated, and that got you into any events. We decided at the end of 2019 that a lot of people wanted to become a member, but they didn't have a chapter in their city. And so it didn't really make sense for us to be charging an annual membership fee because people that were in, Boston, we don't have a chapter there, wanted to be a member, but there wasn't a chapter events for them to attend. So we completely refigured the membership model, which is what's currently on our website, to basically make membership free for anyone. And then you could purchase what we would call an access pass that would give you 5 entrances to events for a flat fee. Or you could pay on a per event basis, but we were encouraging that access pass because we want to reduce the number of transactions. Every time we do a transaction, we have to pay a fee, right, to Venmo, to Stripe, whoever our merchant is. So we were always trying to minimize transactions, hence the idea of the access pass. So we formulated this whole great plan for our new membership model. We were just about ready to implement it, and then COVID hit and events weren't going to be happening. So that made the access pass pretty pointless. So now we're at a point, obviously, very different going forward, where I think that, we, again, have been able to take the last 16 months to really build up some infrastructure within Millennials in Travel, to expand upon our benefits program, our FAM program. We now have a national manager of benefits that's actively working on seeking out benefits that are exclusive to our members. We have a national manager of FAMs. We're offering 1 FAM per month at this point. We have a very robust job board and are developing career opportunities and professional development program. Hopefully, we eventually bring on a mentorship program. This is top secret and hasn't been announced yet, but we just brought on a Gen Z advisor so that we can create Gen Z in travel. So we're continuously growing and evolving and adapting. And I think that we provide value to members now, even if they don't have a chapter in their city. So I don't have an answer for you today. We're going to actually meet on that in 2 hours to make a final decision on what the membership model would be like. And if you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. It seems what people are leaning towards is doing an annual membership fee and charging to attend events, because they think that it's beneficial and worthwhile. But for now, things are sort of just in flux, but I should have an answer for you in the next couple of days. And definitely by the end of June, we'll have an official membership model rolled out to everyone. So that's sort of the update on the membership model. But that was really all I had. Again, that's a blueprint for you, a framework to work from. I'm going to send that to you so that you can, you can use that as you develop your strategy going forward. And let me know if you have any questions. Anyone?